Our Clemson Nation, back with another recruiting video in the 2023 class. I just recently dropped a video on the defensive end, so definitely go check that one out. Give it a thumbs up, comment. Also, please hit that subscribe button. It's free for you and it really just helps me out. It helps this channel grow. I'd really love to monetize this channel one day, and I'm actually not that far away. I can just get the subscribers numbers up. I'm on the way there, all right? This video is going to cover the defensive tackles. To me, this is the top position group that we signed. The 3 dudes that we got in this class, all of them elite. That's really the only word that you need to describe them. I want to start off by saying, like, the hire of Nick Eason, it was unbelievable. He has come in and has done an incredible job. Last year he came in and closed really late on Caden's story. We were worried about who we were going to sign at defensive tackle, and he came in at the last hour after Todd Bates left, was able to steal Caden's story away from Auburn. This year, his first class, I mean, he just knocked it out of the park. This is the best defensive tackle class in the entire country. It's obvious at this point he's one of the top recruiters in the country, and we're just super blessed that he chose to come back to Clemson, to come back home. And I'm really excited to see how he improves our defensive tackles moving forward. This guy played several years in the NFL. He even won a Super Bowl. So the knowledge that he's going to bring as a former pro, winning at the highest level to our defensive tackle, it's going to be massive for their development. And then clearly, you know, he's going to land these elite defensive tackles almost on an annual basis at this point. You know, to get Story late, to get the 3 guys we got this year, I can't wait to see who we get for 2024. Nick Eason, phenomenal hire. Super excited that he came in to replace Todd Bates. Going into this class, we were in a pretty similar situation that we were with our defensive ends last year. You know, we had a lot of talent, and it was all veteran talent. And I had to think, you have to believe that the coaches thought they were going to lose at least 3 guys to the NFL. Tyler Davis, Rook, both were in their 4th years. Brian Brzee, when he's healthy, to me, is the best defensive tackle in the entire country. I think the coaches had to believe they were going to lose all 3 of those guys. So clearly we needed 3 guys that were going to come in and immediately be ready to go. I mean, to lose Tyler, Rook, and Brzee, you're going to have to replace them with 3 monsters. And that's exactly what we did. Now, fortunately, we all know Tyler and Rook decided to come back for their 5th years. I'm still just shocked that both of them decided to do that. It's honestly crazy in my opinion. I mean, at least Tyler should have gone. You know, I was just incredibly surprised that both of them decided to return. And that's huge for us. If you look at it, both of them are probably going to combine for one of the best defensive tackle duos in the entire country. Right? No doubt about it. There's not 10 teams that have a better defensive tackle duo than them. But also, what's really exciting is behind those 2, the depth is just crazy. I'm just starting out with Peyton Page and Trey Williams. Love both of them. Right? Peyton Page being his 3rd year now, what he's done over his first 2 seasons, it's been crazy. He's transformed his body from when he first got here. To me, he truly can become a dominant defensive tackle for us. And then Trey Williams, when he's healthy, I mean, he's like incredibly disruptive on tape. You know, I see him making plays all the time when he's healthy. His biggest thing has just been literally his health and the opportunity to get more snaps. He's definitely going to have that this year. Those 4 guys are going to rotate like crazy. All 4 of them, to me, future NFL draft picks. No doubt about it. Tyler and Rook would have gotten drafted this year. Probably going to have one more year of development, see if they can get drafted higher. Probably 2nd, 3rd round picks if I had to guess. And then Peyton Page, Trey Williams, I think same potential. We're looking at legitimately 4 defensive tackles, our top 4 guys that can be 2nd, 3rd round draft picks in the NFL. And that's, I mean, how many teams can honestly say that? It's just impressive, the defensive tackles that we have. And then after those 4, we got 4 freshmen. Now, I mentioned Caden's story earlier. He'll be a redshirt freshman. Massive human being. I'm excited to see the development that he made in 1 year. Redshirted, so in the weight room a lot. You know, after them, then the 3 guys that we got. You know, seeing where all 4 of these freshmen are going to be at, it's going to be insane. The top 4 that we got, elite, all 4 of them. And then the 4 young freshmen that we got. I mean, this is one of the best defensive tackle groups in the entire country. Me being biased, I'm going to say it's the best defensive tackle room in the entire country. It's at least top 5, without a doubt. And it's clearly our best position group. I don't even think that's a question right now. There's 4 guys in the top 4 all going to play in the NFL. and then the 4 behind them, incredibly talented. All 4 of the guys behind them also can play in the NFL, depending on how they develop. So we're going to get to these 3 signees. As always, we're going to start with the highest rated player, and that's going to be our lone 5-star signee, Peter Woods. And personally, I'm going to go ahead and say he's the best overall player in the country. It's funny how he dominated at the All-American Bowl practices, and then 247 dropped him in the overall rankings. It's odd how that happens, right? All the reports are he's unblockable, he's dominating, he's clearly the best defensive lineman. None of these offensive linemen can handle him. We get all these reports coming from the All-American practices, and for some reason, 247 decided to drop him like 20 to 30 spots. That's pretty funny, but fortunately, he kept his 5-star title. I don't look quite at the rankings. Obviously, they're important, but they're not the end-all, be-all. The tape is what sets it, and honestly, his tape, unbelievable. So, my opinion, best defensive, not only just best defensive player, he's the best overall player in this entire class. So, we're going to start with his tape, and freak of nature. Right, so this is him playing nose tackle, completely shoves off the center, slams the running back down, gets hyped after the play. Love that. Now, this is him in the 5 technique, playing defensive end, reading the pitch. Look at the closing speed right there for someone of his size. I mean, this is insane. This kid, very versatile, can play multiple positions. Elite pass rushing ability right there, just swimming the offensive lineman. This is a great hustle play, great effort play. Look at him running downfield. The Mets screams Tyler Davis right there, causing the fumble. Yeah, this is... How many more kids are going to have impressive tape like this? Defeating the pull, throw. I mean, just a man amongst children out there, honestly. Right, great level, shucks off the block, gets double teamed, still makes a play. You know, to me, he can play every position at the defensive line. He reminds me a lot of Christian Wilkins, very similar skill set. He's going to play defensive tackle for us, but also I think he'll get snaps at defensive end. I wouldn't be surprised if he plays defensive end this year, given our lack of depth at that position. But, you know, Christian played it his sophomore year the entire season. I can see Peter Woods similar. He's not quite as big, but the versatility is there. He can really play 5, the 4, the 4-eye, the 3, nose tackle, the 2-eye, you name it. I mean, just an explosive athlete coming out of his stance. He can win with speed and power. I mean, he's just going to be elite against the run, no question about it. And given his versatility, I believe he can definitely develop into an elite pass rusher. The tools are already there. You can see it, how violent he plays, how fast and explosive he is off the ball. I mean, this guy, future first-round pick, written all over him. He's really the next great defensive tackle to come out of Clemson. And truly, we're slowly becoming that defensive tackle if that's even a moniker right now. We're slowly becoming that. I mean, Grady Jarrett, elite, DJ Reader, Christian Wilkins, Dexter Lawrence, all of these guys are elite players now or have been in the past in the NFL. And you also got Carlos Watkins for the Cowboys. I mean, he's been really good for them as well. Brissy, if he can stay healthy, I mean, he's coming. He has that potential that Dexter and Christian and DJ and Grady have. I hope he stays healthy. I think he can be an absolute freak in the NFL. And then Tyler and Rook the next year. I mean, both those guys can get drafted pretty high. Yeah, I mean, Peter Woods is cut from that same cloth, honestly. He's in that Grady, Reader, Christian, and Dexter category. Future first-round draft pick for sure. The potential is insane. I mean, he's got Pro Bowl-type potential, big-time defensive lineman, NFL-type potential. And honestly, he's going to be such a dominant player for us. I can't wait to watch him play. The tape is just ridiculous. So we're going to move. Second guy, Vic Burley. Right off the bat, first thing you notice about him, massive human being. You know, I was watching an interview that Coach Eason gave, and he said that he's going to look great coming off the bus, and that's certainly true. 6'5", he's already over 300 pounds. To me, he's a kid that should probably be able to hold 330 and stay about as athletic as he is. So freak of nature, he's in that sort of Dexter category where he's just a massive human being that's just going to dominate with sheer size. He's a little bit more versatile than Dexter was coming out of high school, but yeah, love his tape, love what he can do. He's versatile in high school. He plays defensive end and defensive tackle in high school. You love to see him chasing down the running back or the quarterback after this. Hustle play, the effort. A lot of the defensive linemen that we got, that's what they provide. Effort plays. and you love seeing that. To me, he's a guy that's probably going to transition more to the nose tackle because I believe he'll be in that 330 range. But, I mean, you can see it right here. I mean, on the film, he's lined up at defensive end for the majority of these snaps. Just defeating the double team. He gets skinny right there to defeat the double team. You know, he doesn't just take on both of them. He turns his shoulders, gets really thin, and splits the double team to get the sack right there. Again, dips his shoulder on the pull. Perfect technique right there. I love the way he uses his hands. He's very violent with his hands. Technique is advanced for his level. He really plays at a really good pad level. Again, great spin move. So to me, he's athletic enough. He can play multiple positions, but I truly see him as a guy that's going to play defensive tackle for us. Depending on how much weight he adds, I definitely see him as a nose tackle. You know, I don't know if his pass rush ability is quite of Peter Wood, so I don't know if he's going to be a 3 technique or definitely play. I don't think he'll play defensive end for us, but technique is so impressive for someone of his age already. He's a guy that should make a smooth transition to the college game since his technique is already pretty advanced. And once he adds more weight to his already large frame, he's going to be a major, major problem for people. He's another guy, high-end draft pick potential. I don't think he has the same ceiling as Peter Woods, who I think honestly looks like a top 10 pick at this point. But, you know, I think Vic could play his way into the first round for sure. But right now, second, third round pick, definitely. I think you're looking at another Tyler Davis. You're looking at another Rook type of player, in my opinion. And honestly, if we get that, I mean, just that's all we can ask for. Defensive tackles that are that good, right? And you can just see, you know, his tape, super impressive. Unbelievable how good he's got. One-handed catch at tight end. This is a defensive tackle making a one-handed catch at tight end, right? That just shows you the athleticism of the guys that we got. But Vic Burley, love him. He's also the nephew of Nick Eason, so that's really cool. Can't wait to see just how good this kid really can be. The size, it's unbelievable. The athleticism you just saw in that one-handed catch. Yeah, this guy's got just unbelievable potential. Last guy, Stephiylan Green. You know, I think what I've heard about him is he didn't attend many of these camps. So like 247 or Rivals or Nike or whoever, they put on a bunch of these camps for a lot of high school kids. And apparently Stephiylan Green didn't really attend them. And from what I've heard, that impacts your rankings. You don't get the exposure to a lot of these recruiting analysts. You don't get exposure to a lot of the other high-end picks or high-end recruits going up against them in one-on-ones and stuff. So if you don't go to these camps, a lot of the times your rankings are impacted by this. And his ranking probably is. Film-wise, I mean, this kid looks like an absolute freak of nature. You know, he's definitely better than what his ranking has him, and he's still ranked really high. For a guy who didn't attend camps, that definitely shows me he probably is a top 50 player. Another incredibly athletic defensive tackle that we got. Another guy that can play multiple positions along the defensive line. Incredibly violent, explosive off the ball. Yeah, I'm telling you, like Nick Eason just knocked it out of the park with all three of these kids. They're all going to be incredibly good. Look how patient he is at the hole, then just explodes, lifting the guy out of the air. We can't have that. That's a Ben Boulware penalty right there. I mean, just explosive, violent swim move right there. Offensive lineman didn't stand a chance. Another explosive off the ball, straight bull rush, violent, safety. I mean, you know, this kid, all three of these guys, just the versatility that they're going to bring. Right, defeating a double team right there. Another effort play right here. Literally every defensive lineman prospect that we got, they're all super effort-driven guys. You have to love that because that's something you just can't coach. Pass rushing ability, so he can definitely play the 3 technique for us. I'm interested to see really how big he can get. His frame isn't as big as Vic Burley's. I mean, another play. Look how fast he gets turned around and sprinting down there. I mean, that's just, for a guy that size to be able to move that well, it's unbelievable. Doesn't even get touched on this play. Again, the explosion off the ball at such a young age. Yeah, I mean, I can say it over and over again. These 3 kids, unbelievable. Another swim move, pass rush. Definitely showing me that he can play a 3 technique. I think that's where his home is going to be. I mean, just violent, pushing that center into the backfield, making a play. This is exactly what you want from your defensive lineman. Chasing, giving chase down the sideline. You saw that at Peter Woods. Stephiylan Green, same thing. I don't think Vic Burley can probably make that many plays. I don't think he's quite that athletic. But yeah, this kid, elite pass rushing ability at defensive tackle. And you can definitely see that on the tape. Last play right here. Yeah. Again, just an absolute freak of nature, this entire class. I mean, it's obvious. The best, I know I'm a biased Clemson fan, but this is the best defensive tackle class in the entire country. It's probably the best defensive tackle class that we have signed. And really all you got to do is just watch the tape. Look at these three guys. You just saw glimpses of what their tapes are. They're all freaks. They are as elite as they come. I promise you, this is the best class for defensive tackles in the country. There's no way another team signed 3 defensive tackles as good as these 3. It's certainly going to be fun to watch these kids develop. I'm super pumped that they chose Clemson. I believe all 3 of them are going to develop into great players. All of them have high-end NFL draft pick potential. I think Stephiylan Green's is similar to Vic Burley's, probably second, third round. But honestly, he could definitely play his way to the first round depending on how he develops. I can't wait to watch their development. Nick Eason, great job. Love what you've done so far at defensive tackle. Super awesome that you came back to Clemson. You were such a great player here. I'm so glad that you're now coaching at Clemson again. One of the better hires Dabo has made for sure. Losing Todd Bates hurt, but honestly, Nick Eason is looking like he's going to be even better than Todd Bates was. So that's it for this video. Next one's going to cover the linebackers. I'm super high on Jamal Anderson. I think he's one of the best linebackers in the entire country. Next, think Trenton Simpson, Isaiah Simmons, Barrett Carter type athlete. I can't wait to make that video. His tape, super impressive. So be on the lookout for that one. And as always, go Tigers.